Hi guys, so right-wing politicians and commentators are having a meltdown at the moment over what? Small boats, of course. So about 1,000 people crossed the English Channel on Saturday, and this number is high due to favourable weather conditions. Now you're going to hear about how this is the largest number ever, but the current record stands at 1,305 people on the 3rd of September 2022. I believe Liz Truss was Prime Minister at the time. So why are so many people crossing the Channel by small boat? Well, due in part to restrictions on so-called legal migration. The visa system is much stricter, so economic migrants are being forced to find an alternative route. But a guest on GB News couldn't be honest and tried to mislead the public about the problem. Have a listen.
See, and the thing is, these people haven't contributed mostly a penny into society of this country at all. So when Keir Starmer starts talking about legal migration, which we can control, at least people who come here legally end up contributing immediately. So they'll be working or they'll be doing something.
Okay, why do we have to keep repeating this line? Asylum seekers are not allowed to work, so they can't contribute to society. Now, some of these people will not be asylum seekers, they will be economic migrants. So they will be contributing because they will be working. They will be buying stuff. They will be, in some cases, maybe paying tax, but if they're working in the black economy, of course they won't. But that's because they're not allowed to work because they're making an asylum claim. If you change the system where people could work, then you wouldn't have this problem of not contributing.
Within the economy, we may pay something for them, but they, in the end, they may be a slight net benefit, not major, but they are not a net drain like this. Now, Keir Starmer said he would smash the gangs. Apparently, he's appointed someone new to look after the department. But what can he honestly do? Today, 1,000 coming, and the French didn't even push, they weren't pushed back. Apparently, they're not allowed to. They were just escorted towards the UK.
Well, now, why were they escorted? Because it wasn't safe to push them back. The French are not pushing the boats back because it's dangerous. It risks lives. So the French are not going to do that. They're going to escort boats to the English shore because that's where the people want to go. Because what's the point in forcing boats back to the French coast and then the very next day people getting in another dinghy and travelling across? What's the point in doing that? These people don't want to stay in France.
Keir Starmer and this government, just as the Conservative Party before, face a particular crisis in terms of their international relationships with France. They know, and France knows, that under international law, the United Kingdom is able to push those boats back to the French shore.
That's completely untrue. You're not allowed to do that under international law. You're not allowed to push boats back. You're allowed to pick people up and take them to the nearest safe shore, which could be France or it could be England. But you're not allowed to push boats back. That's not legal. It's completely unlawful. Now, are some countries doing it? Yes, they are. But they're breaking international law by doing so.
They know it. We know it. We won't do it because we're weak. Our foreign...
No, the Coast Guard and the Royal Navy won't do it because it's illegal, not because the respective navies or forces are weak.
Office is weak. Our Treasury is weak because they are frightened of the international scandal it will cause with France and the European Union. We know we can do this, and that's a capability that we have. The second...
This guy is supposed to be an expert. An expert who's saying, yes, we can break international law. Yes, technically, yes, the UK could break international law, but it's breaking the law then. It's not lawful to push back boats because it's dangerous. It risks people's lives. What you're supposed to do under the law of the sea is to pick people up, to provide assistance. That's exactly what's happening.
Thing that they can do is create a mass deterrence for people smugglers. That's Rwanda. That's being...
We're getting Rwanda resuscitated again. This has to end. Rwanda is dead. The Rwanda scheme, I should say. It's over. It's not going to work. Why is it not going to work? Because Rwanda is not a safe country. The Supreme Court deemed Rwanda unsafe. And the point of Rwanda is, well, let's send people there to be forgotten. Because it's not about sending people to Rwanda to process their claims and then if they're successful, they return to the UK. No, it was about sending people to Rwanda to never return.
Being able to take them straight out of the country immediately they arrive and say, we'll process you in a country far, far away from Britain.
But this is not Rwanda. Why is this guy lying? He's supposed to be an expert on immigration, and he's suggesting that Rwanda is a processing centre. No, the Rwanda scheme was to send people there. If they're successful, they stay in Rwanda. If they're not, then they become Rwanda's problem to deport. But the problem with Rwanda was that it was not safe.
We'll put you in camps and you can have Zoom or internet or whatever it is to talk to your lawyers, but you're not doing it on British shores. Those are the two things that would drive a stake into the heart of the people smugglers model.
But it wouldn't. The only way to drive a stake through the heart of the people smuggling model is to create a safe route, because then people don't need to rely on people smugglers. But these people, GB News and this guest, if he's an expert, he claims to be an expert, are against that. Like, there's a way to end the small boat crossings, to truly smash the gangs, is to create a safe route. But they're against that. They will never even talk about it. Or if they do, they will say, well, that just creates a pull factor.
This government and the civil service surrounding them are too frightened to even attempt it.
They're too weak to do anything. Stephen Wolfe, thank you very much. He's the director of the Centre for Migration.
The director of the Centre of Migration doesn't seem to understand how migration works. You know, when Michael Gove said people are sick of experts, have had enough of experts. Well, if these are the experts, yes, of course they are. So the whole framing of this is, well, the numbers are up. Why are the numbers up? Well, the numbers are up because if you cut off the visa system, if you reduce people's ability to access legal migration, then they're going to find an alternative. And the only other alternative at the moment is small boat. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.